If you've got a job interview at a law firm, there's one question that you're 100% going to be asked. And that's good, that means you can prepare for it. And that question is going to come right at the end of the interview when your interviewer turns to you and says, "So, do you have any questions for us?" Now, you don't want to do what I did in my early interviews, which is just turn to them and go, "No, I don't think I have anything I want to ask." Honestly, I was just so scared in those early interviews that I just wanted them to be over as quick as possible. But you should know this. When your interviewer invites you to ask them questions, it's actually a great opportunity for you. If you ask the right questions, you can learn more about the firm, you can show off that you've done your research, and you can take the conversation into a direction that you want to go and kind of give yourself a bit more control of what you're talking about. So asking a couple of good questions at the end of an interview can really help you impress. If you're new here, my name's Idin. I'm a corporate lawyer in London and a New York qualified attorney. I make videos about the law firm application process, my experiences as a junior lawyer, and that sort of thing. So if you're interested in that, consider subscribing to my channel. I also run a free email newsletter called Little Law. It's aimed at aspiring lawyers. It covers commercial business news every week. You can check it out if you want. It's going to be linked in the description of this video. So anyway, here are my 5 favorite questions that you can ask at the end of an interview. The first question is, what makes a trainee at your firm stand out? You can swap out trainee here for back schemer, paralegal, or whatever role it is that you're applying for. This question is really good because it shows that you want to stand out, which is impressive for your interviewer, but it also gives you information about what kind of values that firm has. You might find that different firms answer this question in different ways and have different things that they value in their trainees, in their paralegals, in their back schemers, whatever it is that the role is. And see, that's really useful for you because you'll see what the firm values, you can compare it to your skills, and if you're going to different firms, you can see from the answer to this question which one is the better suited one for you. The second question is, what skills do you expect trainees to come in with when they start the role? Again, you can replace trainees with back schemers, paralegals, whatever it is that the role is. This question shows that you want to come in and be at the exact right level that they expect you to be, right from the start. Also, based on the answer to this question, you'll get some really useful information about what trainees or people at your level are actually doing in the role. This is good because it gives you information about the role you're applying for, but it's also useful if you just don't get the job. It will give you some skills that you can work on to help strengthen your future applications, because the skills that they'll have mentioned here are the ones that they expect the trainees or back schemers or whatever to have. So you can get stronger in those areas and make stronger applications in the future. The third question is, how does this firm or role compare with your previous experience? The way it works is, for example, if one of the interviewers had previously worked in like a small regional firm and they've moved recently to a big London firm, you can ask them about the differences between these two experiences that they have. Maybe they had a slightly different role before the role that they have now at this firm. Maybe their career changed. These are the sort of things that you can ask about, which will show that you've done your research on the interviewer and tell you more about the firm you're applying to. This question is a bit interviewer specific, so you need to know who your interviewer is beforehand and be able to have done some research on their experiences individually. Sometimes if you don't know who your interviewer is, it might be worth sending GradRec an email and asking, because they might not give that information to you up front, but if you ask, they might know that, and if you're interested, they might just tell you at that point. And for this question, you also need to do some research ahead of time. To be honest, even if they've not gone through a change in their career, maybe they've been at that same firm for 20 years, you could come up with a question like, "Oh, I see you've been at this firm for 20 years. What is it that's kept you here throughout that time?" As I said, you're going to have to do some research beforehand to be able to ask a question like this. And as long as the information that you've found is generally available, like for example on their LinkedIn or on the firm website, then it won't look too stalkery if you ask about it. Also, an extra reason why this is a good question is that it gives the interviewer the chance to talk about themselves, and people generally like doing that. The fourth question is, does your firm have a blank committee? You can replace a blank here with anything you have a genuine interest in. It can be innovation and tech, neurodiversity, D&I, pro bono work, literally whatever you're interested in. A question like this gives a bit more of an insight into you as a candidate and what sort of thing you like, which I think makes you more interesting to the interviewer. Also lets you learn a little more about the law firm and whether they have a commitment to the same things that you value. Just keep in mind that depending on the person interviewing you, the person you end up asking might not actually know the answer to this question. Big law firms have loads of different committees and stuff like that, and not everyone's going to know everything about all of them. I've generally found that like recruitment team members will have a better understanding of these sorts of committees and stuff that exist than like a random partner that might be interviewing you. And the fifth question is, I know that the firm is strong in blank. How do you see blank changing the firm in the next few years? That blank could be a practice area that the firm's strong in, and how a new piece of legislation or a case judgment might change that area of work for them. Maybe the law firm's opened an office in the new location, or acquired another law firm, or hired a team for a new practice area. All of these things are interesting things you could ask about in that blank. A question like this is great for showing that you've done your research on the firm and that you're interested in where it's going in the future, which for the interviewers is a good sign. It shows you're thinking long term. Again, try to tailor the question to the interviewer's practice area so they're more likely to actually know the answer. Now, in this video, I just wanted to give you some questions that you can use for inspiration. You can copy them word for word if you want. If you've got nothing else in mind, it's better to use these. But the best approach is probably to take these, use them as inspiration, and come up with your own questions based on your own interest and experience. I always found interviews so stressful, and I think that's because they were uncertain and you really didn't have any idea what you're going to be asked. I also never asked questions at the end of interviews because I think I just wanted to get out of there as quick as I could. But hopefully this video has given you a bit more confidence. There is this one question that you're definitely going to be asked, and you can prepare for it 100% beforehand. As always, let me know your thoughts on this video by leaving a thumbs up, a thumbs down, or a comment down below. If you're doing law firm applications right now, consider subscribing to this channel because I'm going to be doing more law firm application content. For all you aspiring lawyers, I run a commercial awareness weekly email called Little Law. You can sign up, the link is going to be in the description below. Anyway, I hope this helped you out, and I'll catch you next time.